extremely excited to introduce our first guest of the program, Lisa Bickerton, former George Jenkins head volleyball coach. And Coach, thank you for taking the time, braving the elements, if you will, coming out. But 20 plus years coaching, recently stepped down, retiring from the sport. You got 12 minutes. Go. Tell us all your experiences. No, I'm just kidding. Talk to us about what the experience has been like, and then we can just kind of go from there.
Well, thank you for having me. I love the lead in with the legend of a volleyball coach. I appreciate that. But it's been a great 21 years. I've been there since the school opened. I was working with Diane Warwick as her assistant, JV coach when the school first opened at George Jenkins High School, and then took over in 2001. And just have loved every minute of it. You know, there's hard times, there's good times, but being able to help the kids and see their successes down the road is just probably the best part of it. 370
wins. Really?
Yes.
I mean, come on. You got 30 more in you, right? Come on. We want to get to 400. But unbelievable. Talk about the staying power that it takes to coach that many years, because the sport, student athlete, the whole thing has changed.
Everything's changed because now kids aren't just playing, you know, high school volleyball is 3 months and they're not playing 3 months. You're there 10 months of the year. You keep working with the kids. Most of them do club ball now, so they're playing travel ball. So, you know, and I work club ball with No Limits Volleyball Club out of Highland Park Church of the Nazarene. So, you know, you gotta love it. If you don't love it, there's no point in coaching sports.
Wonderful. 20 plus years, what, you know, just some of the highlights, you know, through there for you, success stories that have came about through this long tenure?
There's so many of them. Going to the state, that was probably my best year. We went and played St. Thomas Aquinas. We ended up losing that one, but it was a great season. Seeing some of the kids, some of the rivalries with Lakeland High School develop, those kids just getting fired up, and just the energy they play those games with, and the energy the crowd puts out, those are exciting. And then, you know, just seeing the kids go off to college. When you have a season and you have 6 or 7 seniors and all of them are able to go off and play in college, that's worth it.
I think you hit on something interesting that you know, you can be a fan of a particular school, but maybe you don't go to all the sports competitions that school might have, and that's true in college, as high school, or you know, the like. But you talk about that rivalry with Lakeland, for example. It's not just on the football field or on the basketball court, or talk about. I mean, it goes through every sport.
Every sport, yeah, it goes through every sport. And when the kids find, you know, at volleyball matches especially, the fans are kind of close to each other because you know, they're only separated by the court, and they will go back and forth shouting things and yelling things and look at the scoreboard and, you know, you can't do that and stuff like that, and it just hypes up just such energy in the whole facility that the kids get fired up while they're playing. And, you know, it's just, you're in the huddle, and, you know, as you're talking to your girls in the huddle, you're normally like this, but in that type of atmosphere, you're screaming,
sure,
trying to tell them something to do in the next play, and it's just, that's fun.
Yeah. What is it that, obviously, with your career, what is it that brought you to Jenkins? How did you get started there? When I know you mentioned you were there from the beginning, from day one, kind of, but what took you to Jenkins?
Well, I worked with Miss Warwick when I was in high school. She was coaching a club program, and I worked with her. And then Jenkins was opening up, and they were looking for extra coaches, and I was like, hey, if you'll have me, I'll be happy to work with you. And she knew me from club, so she hired me, and that's how it all started.
Wow.
So you talk about Miss Warwick, and another one that comes to mind, of course, my connection to Bartow, but Marnie Cobb, of course, she went in the Polk County Sports Hall of Fame for what she did. So was there connection with Marnie, or were there other mentor type folks in Polk County and other schools that you guys kind of relied on each other?
Yeah, we relied on each other, and it's a small little community. You kind of know each other, and if you don't, you know somebody who knows somebody. But Carlton Benton, he used to run Lakeland Juniors and worked with the city of Lakeland. He kind of got me started with club ball. And then Marnie, I mean, growing up through volleyball, you know Marnie. She was around everything. She was the AD at Bartow for so many years, so she was with all sports. And I remember sitting with her at the FACA meetings, the Florida Athletic Coaches meeting, to vote for Players of the Year and all that stuff. And she was always so helpful and friendly. So, yeah.
Just to follow up on that, can you talk about the development side? Because obviously relationships, and anything you do, relationships are important. If you're going to move an initiative or a program or anything like that forward, you have to rely on other people, because I think you'd probably be the first to admit all your success, though you're steering the ship, took a lot of people to get there.
A lot of people. I mean, I have 9 assistant coaches that helped me this year and have for the last few years. And but yes, you have to, if you're going to get something started, it can't just come from you unless you have a lot of pull in the community, but you have to have other coaches that come in and help you. I remember Marnie was significant in starting, we would do a summer league, and she was significant in starting that and getting Don Bridges to help us, you know, get that facilitated, and we were carrying that on for many years until COVID, and we had to stop for a while, but
Wow.
yeah, you have to have help.
Yeah. What, obviously you're done with your position, head coach. Do you have any ambitions to continue to kind of help from the shadows?
Not at this moment.
Okay.
I think whoever comes in after me, I'm hoping it's going to be Morgan Rogers, who's been my assistant for 9 years, but I think they need to get their footing without me there looming over them, and this is how Coach Bick did it and all that stuff. So I want to step aside for a while. Maybe down the road, depending on what I end up going to do, I might come back and, you know, be somebody's JV coach like Gary Meyer, but not at the moment.
So as you look at volleyball, and I know as you said, club and all that has changed, but what are the biggest changes you've seen in the sport? Obviously, the student athletes are getting bigger, stronger, faster, and have been for a long time, but what changes have you seen over your 20 years?
I think the biggest change is you don't see them playing other sports. You know, they're focused on one sport, and basically that's how you get to college. You're playing 10 months out of the year, and they want you to play travel ball. But just some of the little things like the scoring. We went from 15 points to rally scoring, 25, 3 out of 5. We added the libero over the time that I was there, the defensive player. Gosh, I don't know what else there is.
But fundamentally, so there's been changes, but fundamentally the game is the game, and,
Oh,
and
yes,
the approach.
definitely.
So how do you specialize with your players? Because you said that they're only playing one sport, so I guess I shouldn't say specialize, but how do you keep it fresh for your players? Because if they're playing 10, 11 months of the year,
They have to
there
love
can be
it.
some burnout. Yeah.
Yeah, they have to love it, and you have to. I mean, when I first started, I was working with little kids. I used to work out of Kelly Rec and do 6 and 7 year olds, and you just have to make them love the sport and want to be there and want to work hard. And I just try to tell them, you know, working hard is what's making us better, and this is fun. Enjoy it, please.
You will enjoy it.
What, obviously, the past 20 years, this has consumed a considerable amount of your time. What now?
I don't know. A lot of people have asked me that question. A lot of people said I should ref or, you know, do private lessons or that. And I'm just going to kind of sit back and see what happens. I just bought a new house and I have a pool now, so I'm going to enjoy that for a little bit and then see what comes of it.
Nice. Wonderful.
So after about 3 days, you'll be back to the gym.
I'm still going to coach club ball for a few years, so I'll still be in the middle of it. But just stepping out of the high school realm for now.
Wonderful. That's fantastic. And, you know, a lot of times in Polk County, football, basketball kind of gets the headlines as, you know, oh, what a hotbed of talent and recruiting and all that. But really, it's true completely across the board, all sports here in Polk County. Volleyball's the same thing.
Volleyball's the same thing. And if we actually pulled the numbers, you would see kids in all sports are going to college and they're getting scholarships, and you know they're going through 4 years of college on a paid scholarship. So Polk County has a lot of good athletes, a lot of good sports, a lot of good coaches around here.
That is true.
You're he's a good golfer. You know,
Hey.
I've heard he's a great coach, but he hasn't fixed my game yet. So
I haven't had the
don't-
opportunity.
Well, that's true. I got to get
I
out of the
can't
office
fix it if I don't have the
and do that.
opportunity.
So, Coach, we've got about a minute left here. If you had one piece of advice, either to an athlete or to a parent, let's say to a parent, they've got a youngster looking to find a sport or whatever, why volleyball, and what would be your advice on how to allow their development from a young age up into high school?
I say they need to find a place where they can go play. When they're young, play all sports to see what they love.
Okay.
But volleyball is fun. It's exciting. It's a great sport to watch. It's a great sport to play. It's fast-paced. It keeps moving. And it's indoors. There's no worry about the rain.
That's a good
Or
selling
the sun.
point. Well, Coach, thank you so much for coming on. We wish you nothing but success in your retirement from volleyball and your club teams. I know you've got a few more years before
years, yes.
you retire from teaching, but between coaching and being a teacher, we can't give you enough praise and thanks for what you do for
Thank you.
not just George Jenkins, but the Polk County area.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, good luck to you.